In the early hours of the morning of Tuesday, the 26th of April 2011, the Bartlems' neighbours awoke to a house fire.
I was paged about 7:30 in the morning, I think, and control basically just said to me, can you attend the nearest police station for 9 o'clock, where we were going to have a briefing, and then the fire investigation team were going to go down to the scene. So probably arrived at the scene itself by about 11 o'clock. The police had cordoned off quite a large area around the estate, but obviously there was a lot of press interest. So we had to sort of go through the gauntlet of all the press and the cameras and everything.
The first we were informed about it was that there'd been a fire in Georgia Drive in Arnold, and we had reporters on the scene. There were neighbours outside the houses wondering what had happened, and we learned from speaking to them that the little boy that lived there and his brother had come out of the house with the dog, and that a lady inside had died. You could see from the outside that there was severe smoke damage to one of the windows. Something terrible had happened in there.
The actual atmosphere itself is quite surreal in some ways. It's an unnatural, eerie silence. We're there as a professional team, we have a professional job to do, but you can't help thinking this is somebody's home, this was where somebody lived, right up until the point of the fire. Once we'd actually got the area of origin into the room itself, what we would then do is try and narrow down, try and work back as close as we could. In this particular instance, we came to the conclusion quite early on that the seat of the fire itself was on or around the actual body, which was lying on the floor.
The badly burned body of Jackie Bartlem was recovered and taken for a post-mortem. Her partner Simon rushed back to Nottingham from Yorkshire, where he'd been working.
Later on that day again, going into the evening time, obviously then got told a body had been found in the fire. And once I'd heard that, all I knew was that in my own mind it had something to do with Daniel. I didn't for 1 minute think that he'd done what he'd done.
What are you feeling at that moment?
You just sort of get transported into this place where you don't know, you can't believe what's going on. All I knew was Jackie was dead and there'd been a fire, but I didn't know, obviously, the other bits regarding what he'd actually done.
Daniel's initial account was that he'd got up in the middle of the night to use the toilet. He'd found himself confronted with a masked man who'd thrown a hammer at him and fled. And he then saw that his mother had been attacked in her bedroom and that the bedroom was on fire. And he panicked, and that he left the house with his younger brother and the dog, but that his mother was inside as the house burnt.
Lies, it's all lies.
What are you thinking?
Well, I'm putting together it's lies that that's what happened, as in there wasn't an intruder, there never was an intruder, and it was Daniel that actually done this. I'm thinking it's all sort of coming together now, it's all clicking into place. All his previous behaviours, everything's clicking into place.
And I think it was a relatively short time, just a matter of a few hours in this particular case, when the officers that were dealing started to think, well, things aren't adding up here, and we're not absolutely sure that he's telling us exactly what happened.
Did he ever feel anything for his mum?
Yeah, I'd find it difficult to pinpoint a stage where he did feel that kind of closeness. It probably would have been in his very, very early years, but it's always been about him. For as long as he's been able to make decisions and to influence people, it's been about him.
So why save the brother?
Well, I think that the reason that he saved the brother was because he wanted to create that narrative of this person's come into the house and they've targeted my mother. And look, I'm the hero, because it paints him in a good light, doesn't it? If he rescues the brother, he rescues the dog. Daniel has saved the day. He's basically achieved two things. He's removed his mother from the equation, and at the same time, he's got everybody thinking how great he is because he's gone in there the hero.
Just 2 days after the tragic house fire on Georgia Drive, the police arrested Daniel on suspicion of murdering Jackie, his own mother.